Hello, it's Phillip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking. I'm talking about her book this morning called Criminology. It's one of the main textbooks, but this is a special textbook on criminology. It's written by an expert in the field, Professor Tim Newburn, and it's a book which I think is appropriate for people studying criminology across the board. In the internet reviews that I've produced and the publications where the review has appeared, I've given it the title A Criminology Primer for Law Trainees, Tutors and Professionals. And the reason I give it that title is because I first became aware of Professor Newburn's work, both on theoretical and applied criminology, from actually participating by doing the BTEC course as a teacher and presenting criminology as one of the course specifications. I think the book's very well suited for beginners, for people in professional training who are going to become involved in any of the aspects of the criminal justice process. It's also very useful for the interested learner whose career may overlap with that of a criminologist in the public services. Obviously sociologists will find it of some help. You can see that the book's blue sort of cover. It's quite a thick book and it's a bit glossy, so it's quite a heavy one. When I started teaching criminology, which is some 20 odd years ago now for undergraduates, the basis of theoretical criminology had remained relatively static, although some exciting new studies had appeared linking research from the Chicago School and ANIME with things like overtly political new criminology and the expansion of feminist gender issues and so on. Mixing these strands of radical and realist theories with the complete confusion of current applied criminology measures and the failures of the legal framework of modern law enforcement is actually a monumental modern task. I think Newburn excels here with his objective in this modern work. It's presented with thought and just about the right amount of detail, so you don't get too bogged down in some of the more esoteric theories. The use of an additional website support is also to be welcomed. I was unsure of how the illustrations in the book would actually fit in, but I've written a number of different versions of the basic content of these types of criminology course for various organisations at GCE level and of course at degree level. So I did find merging the two quite useful, and I think actually the photographs always help a little bit because it sort of breaks up the way you actually treat and teach the subject. Obviously presentation can help, and certainly when I first started teaching this subject we didn't have PowerPoint, so therefore it was a much more chalk and talk type of approach. My most recent teaching assignment, however, was teaching part of BTEC, and that's really where this book came in. I thought it was very helpful. It's a good primer for people certainly at that level. We're talking about first year for the sort of GCE A-level type of level, if you can picture that. It's also good, of course, as an introduction for the first year undergraduate, and I think it blends wholly academic elements very well with the vocational aspects of things like BTEC for people who are going to, say, the public services, police, probation and so forth. The content covers about 36 headings and it's in 6 parts, and like the views of my colleagues teaching the subject, there's always going to be a problem keeping the work up to date, especially for parts 4, 5 and 6, because things like reforming criminal justice with its current critical issues and researching criminology generally can be actually a bit of a problem, because you really got to be up to date, as you can see with the criminal offence statistics, the official figures and all the other problems we have with the dark figure of crime that isn't reported. Clearly then, Newburn's approach, his broad approach that he has, is to be welcome because it's accessible and authoritative as far as I can see it, and quite lively at times. He has that certain intellectual sparkle which comes through, and it gives the reader encouragement, in my view, to explore new areas, new controversial issues in particular. Although always remember, if you're a teacher, one of the problems with the learners is that they will have preconceived notions, and sometimes when you're dealing with more delicate areas, it can cause a few problems. You've got to be very careful, therefore, because the prejudices will come out very, very quickly. I think what also comes through as a final point is that Tim Newburn's experience shines through brilliantly. I know my colleagues who teach the subject welcome his approach as being at the top of the tree when it comes to the type of thing we're doing with vocational work. And it's got that blend, as I say, with the academic level. So what I'm saying in summary then is it's the best type of book in its field at the moment, because it links the more established teaching with innovation at a time with turbulence in, say, the Home Office, the way things are going certainly within our society. And also, as I said, it's useful for things like PowerPoint, which is the new development now for teaching, which is nicely embodied and embedded into what we're doing. So thank you, Willan Publishing, for producing this series of books, and it's a great contribution to the teaching of criminology today. So thanks very much. Bye-bye.